What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'll show you the top 3 best dual blades builds and where wins meet. With the release shaking up the meta, new weapon synergies, reworked gear sets, and refined class compositions are changing how builds are dominating the game. No matter if you're focused on healing or doing high DPS, these builds will give you insane power. We will cover everything from mystic arts to gear to internal skills, then even martial arts and rotations, and so much more. The core of this build revolves around pairing the Infernal dual blades with the Mortal Rope Dart, which creates a setup that feels fluid, aggressive, and constantly active. These two weapons work together in a way that lets you stay on the offensive without ever fully exposing yourself, because even when you're forced to dodge or reset your footing, the Rope Dart's spectral rats keep biting away in the background. This build thrives on maintaining tempo, so applying pressure through summon damage, and then capitalizing on debuff windows with dual blade bursts. Let's break down how it all comes together, starting with the weapons. The Infernal dual blades are your primary damage dealer, scaling evenly off strength and dexterity. Their entire identity revolves around fast attack strings, clean animation cancels, and entering Fury mode as often as possible. Once activated, it ramps up your attack speed, gives you lifesteal, and shortens your vulnerability to crowd control. While on the other hand, we have the Mortal Rope Dart, and this thing elevates the build from strong to exceptional. When you summon your rats, they deliver continuous damage over time, and that scaling only improves with your refinements and internal skills. The Dart's pull attack is another star of the show. It doesn't just reposition enemies, it amplifies your rat's damage and applies a crucial debuff that your dual blades can burst through. Weapon talents follow the same thing. On the dual blade side, you'll want to push for anything that improves Fury uptime. So increased Fury generation, faster recovery, smoother light attack chains, and the talent that reduces your dash cooldowns. The triple dash combo is one of the highest value tools in the kit, especially once combined with Fury's lifesteal. On the Rope Dart, every summon upgrade matters. Buffing rat damage, increasing debuff duration, and enhancing the charge stance makes your openings far more potent. Now let's talk gear, because it ties the loop together. Your priority stats are accuracy, max HP, crit, and elemental damage. Accuracy makes your dual blade combos feel clean, and max HP keeps you safe during Fury downtime. Elemental damage is sneaky, but powerful. Your rats scale beautifully with it. As you refine, shift between crit rate and elemental scaling, depending on whether you prefer a burst-oriented or sustained DPS approach. And because gear rerolls are refundable, you can experiment freely until you find the perfect feel. Mystic arts for this build lean toward enhancing transitions. Spirit Burn gives you boosted follow-up hits after weapon swapping, syncing perfectly with your summon burst rhythm. Rat's Resurgence extends the rat's presence and damage, which is huge in longer fights. And Infernal Flow amplifies your Fury mode, so your burst windows become devastating. These arts work seamlessly with your weapon rhythm, which makes every swap get even more DPS buffs. Internal skills finalize the build's identity. Beastlord's Essence and Rat Vanguard buff your summons. Crimson Fang boosts Fury benefits, and Soul Synchrony strengthens both, so sustain and swap damage. These internals make the playstyle smooth. Every action leads into the next, without wasted movement. And finally, for our rotation, we start with Rope Dart Charge Stance to prime your rats and restore health. Summon the rats, apply the pull debuff, and immediately switch to dual blades. Begin your light attack chain, build Fury, activate it, execute the triple dash burst, and finish the combo. When your Fury window fades or the rats expire, swap back to Rope Dart and rinse and repeat. This dual blades and spear build is all about tempo, so controlling the pace of battle, accelerating it when you want to burst, and slowing it when you need space. It blends the high-speed precision of the Infernal dual blades with the sweeping control of the Heavenquaker spear, which creates a rhythm that moves from tight single-target assassination to broad, room-clearing dominance without ever breaking flow. The dual blades serve as your core engine, constantly generating Fury through their rapid attacks. When your Fury bar ignites, everything sharpens. Attack speed rises, control effects slip away, and lifesteal keeps your aggression sustainable. The spear steps in whenever you need breathing room. by grouping enemies together, applying debuffs, and giving you the perfect setup to re-engage with another Fury Burst. The martial arts behind each weapon reinforce this loop. The dual blades invest heavily into faster Fury generation, smoother movement, and more explosive dash attacks. Early improvements strengthen your light attack chains and reduce the time needed to enter Fury, which ensures that empowered state becomes a regular part of your rotation, rather than an occasional spike. And then, the Heavenquaker Spear brings the opposite kind of pressure, where the blades are sharp and fast, the spear is wide and punishing. Sweep All and Sober Sorrow become your main cleaving tools, hitting harder and covering more ground as you unlock talents that expand their radius and reduce their recovery frames. Inside the Inner Way, the build gains even more forward motion. Morale Chant becomes the heart of your damage engine, granting every hit a chance to increase your overall power. Because both weapons strike rapidly, or in multi-hit patterns, this buff stacks constantly. Echoes of Oblivion and Bitter Seasons add powerful layers of damage over time and armor shredding, triggered easily by the blade's rapid light attacks. Everything culminates with Seasonal Edge, granting a surge of stats whenever you activate your dual weapon skill. Next, for your Mystic skills. Ghostbind freezes enemies long enough for you to position, group, and unleash your most devastating AoE skills. Free Morph transitions you smoothly into fast combos, while Wolf-like Frenzy gives you a reliable single-target closer. Flamelash becomes your primary self-buff, empowering your blade damage before major bursts. Meridian Touch is your lockdown tool for dangerous elites and remains useful, even outside combat for exploration. Veil of Stillness gives you invisibility for repositioning or setting ambushes, while Dragonhead ties mobility and damage together in a single, fluid strike. To support all this, gear emphasizes accuracy first, ensuring your fast blade strings land cleanly. Max HP and elemental modifiers keep your sustain and overall damage consistent, and elemental bonuses are especially potent, since even your special skills from the dual blades scale with them. Refinements should lean into crit, accuracy, and elemental power, with HP added based on comfort. Talents serve to keep your rhythm uninterrupted. Control resistance, dodge window improvements, and mitigation talents protect the delicate timing of your dash-based burst. Boss talents that trigger after perfect dodges or during weakened states give you powerful windows of advantage, while PvP talents, especially those tied to CC resistance, which improves your stability in PvE as well. And finally, for rotation, we begin in Spear stance, then apply your dual weapon buff, slip through Free Morph into Wolf-like Frenzy, and ignite Flamelash, then unleash Addled Mind and Calamity's Greed before switching to the dual blades. From there, let Fury build, enter your empowered state, and slice through the remaining enemies with relentless light attacks. The rhythm is simple. Control with Spear, explode with blades, and let the momentum carry you through every encounter. This dual blades and sword build focuses entirely on pressure and pursuit, built to thrive in PvP, where mobility, timing, and fast reactions matter more than raw durability. The combination of the infernal dual blades and the nameless sword creates a rhythm where you can constantly chase, disrupt, and overwhelm enemies before they ever stabilize. The dual blades act as your primary accelerator, generating fury at high speed and turning every opening into a burst window. When fury ignites, your attack speed rises, control becomes easier to shake off, and your sustain increases through lifesteal, which lets you commit to aggressive trades without instantly crumbling. The martial arts behind each weapon reinforce this tempo-forward identity. The Nameless Sword builds around charged pressure and mid-range control, with talents that shorten the charge time of your heavy wave and increase its damage, making it one of your deadliest burst tools. And then, dual blades lean heavily into close-range acceleration. Early martial arts increase fury gain and smooth out movement between attacks, giving you a fast, fluid baseline that feels excellent in constant skirmishing. Later talents amplify your dash strings and tighten the link between your movement and your light attack pressure, allowing you to stay glued to targets in ways other weapons simply cannot replicate. Inside the Inner Way, the build gains even more flow. Morale Chant stacks effortlessly thanks to the multi-hit nature of both weapons, and maintaining it becomes second nature once fights begin. Echoes of Oblivion contributes armor-piercing pressure that the blades trigger constantly, giving you a hidden damage layer that matters enormously in PvP. Sword Morph synergizes perfectly with the Nameless Sword's charged wave, releasing additional slashes whenever you fire the heavy strike while protected by Daunting Strike's shield. Battle Anthem enhances these sword bursts even further, creating devastating moments where a single mistake from your opponent costs half their health, Mystic skills then round out your toolkit. Serene Breeze becomes your lifeline whenever you're caught in a CC chain, enabling momentum resets and counterattacks. Cloud Steps gives you unpredictable movement for gap closing or angle shifting, making it difficult for opponents to read your approach. Dragon's Breath acts as both a quick punish and an emergency defensive spin. Meridian Touch adds ranged poking and feint potential, while Golden Body gives you essential CC immunity during your most vulnerable offensive sequences. Talon Strike and Leaping Toad provide occasional knockdown setups, though they remain matchup dependent. Gear selection supports accuracy first, ensuring your fast blade string, and Sword punishes land cleanly. Max HP adds survivability without compromising your aggression, and elemental bonuses scale both your charged waves and your blade flurries. Refinements should focus on accuracy, crit, and elemental power. Talents reinforce rhythm and survivability. Dodge windows, CC resistance, and bonuses from perfect defensive actions stabilize your playstyle in high-pressure duels. And finally, we got our rotation. We start with Daunting Strike, then Shadow Step retreats if parried, and Addled Mind re-engages when the opponent missteps. In full burst sequences, use Golden Body, which secures immunity, then use Addled Mind, which initiates Calamity's Greed, that builds your flame buff, and Flame Lash pushes you into relentless dual blade pressure. Overall, the entire build revolves around catching, accelerating, and overwhelming.